Are you going through a lot of negative emotions that you're stuck with? Emotions like depression, panic attacks, or some physical pain that we are stuck with for a long time, like backache, headache, migraines. On a relationship, sometimes we are stuck with feeling hurt because of some broken up relationships. Or in career, sometimes do we feel stuck? For Independence Day, I think it's an amazing time to talk about freedom. But which freedom? Country to free ho chuki hai. So happy Independence Day, but let's now talk about emotional freedom. Today, I'm going to teach you an amazing technique called emotional freedom technique, which helps you to be free and independent of all these negative emotions. And the best part is, during this video itself, you will feel free and you will feel relief and release of a lot of these negative emotions right now during this video. In just 10 minutes, you'll feel a lot of relaxation from emotions like either depression or panic attacks or physical pain. It will go down, I promise you, because the name of the technique is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Interested in this? Watch this in video till the very end so you completely learn EFT, exactly how it works, and you can use it for multiple areas of life. Ready for your independence? Let's begin with Emotional Freedom Technique now. My name is Mitesh Khatri. I and my wife Indu Khatri, we are law of attraction coaches and national best-selling authors of this book, The Law of Attraction. Let's learn about EFT now. First, I want to tell you how EFT works and why EFT works. The three letters EFT full form is Emotional Freedom Technique, also called as Emotional Freedom Tapping. The reason it is called as tapping, because this technique is based on tapping on specific points of your body. Why? Here is why. When we tap on specific points of your body, these are called as energy meridian points. Now, what are energy meridian points? Let me explain. Sometimes in our house, water is blocked in pipes. So you call a plumber sometimes. When the plumber comes, many times he doesn't do something big. He just comes and taps on a specific point of the tap. And the more he hammers or the more he taps, suddenly water starts flowing properly. Why is that? He says later, the plumber probably explains that there was just a little bit of blockage in that pipe because of which water was not releasing. Now, just like that, there is blockage in those pipes. In our body, whenever we are going through a lot of negative emotions, our negative emotions go and live in specific parts of your body as negative blockages. These energy blockages what requires releasing and healing. The more you release these negative blockages in your body, automatically your emotions are released from there. That is why this is called as Emotional Freedom Technique or Emotional Freedom Tapping. When I learned about it for the first time, I couldn't believe it was as simple as this. But when I did a lot of research, I found out that EFT is also based on very powerful ancient techniques like acupuncture, acupressure, which comes from the same science that our body has multiple points in our body called as energy meridian points. The more we tap upon them, the more we are releasing any blockages that is there in that. My belief in EFT went strong because of one big case study that I learned about for the first time. I saw a case study about a guy who was on a wheelchair, and this was a testimonial that I saw on video. He was sitting on the wheelchair and he was saying that many years ago he went through an accident because of which he was completely paralyzed and he was not able to move. Obviously, he couldn't stand, he couldn't sit, he couldn't walk properly. He could only sit on a wheelchair or he could lie down. And right now in this video, when he was sitting in that wheelchair, he was saying that doctors had clearly told him he will never walk for the rest of his life. But he learned about EFT. He said, yeah, I had a lot of time to do nothing, just sitting in one chair or lying down on a bed all the time. So you used all this time to simply use tapping because his upper body part was still working. So he used only tapping right now to cure himself of that paralysis problem. And he said, I had no idea whether it will work or not. I just started using it because anyways, time to tha. He said, believe it or not, within 6 months, he got completely cured. And then my shock was, in this testimonial, he stood up from the chair. Not only he stood up, he started jumping. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. That one case study made me believe in the science. I did a lot of research after that, and then I started using EFT regularly in my life every single day. I and my wife Indu, we practice EFT every day. In fact, in our community of law of attraction, yes, by the way, I have a community of more than 10,000 people who practice advanced law of attraction with me every day. We practice law of attraction, we practice techniques of law of attraction like EFT every single day. Indu wakes up in the morning every day. Those of you who don't know who Indu is, she's my wife and co-author of my book. Every morning she wakes up She does EFT. And many times when I am not feeling well, she does EFT for me. You can do EFT for other people also. So if you have some family members right now who are going through a lot of negative emotional problems like sadness or depression or loneliness or anything like that, you can actually do EFT for them. And it works amazingly like magic. Want to learn EFT in detail? Let's start right now. By the way, we have a certification course on Ho'oponopono and EFT combined. There is a free lesson that I want to offer you. The first lesson of my Ho'oponopono and EFT certification course. This one lesson will give you such an amazing experience of releasing negative emotions that you will have tears of joy at the end of that lesson. I promise you, it will be one of the best experiences of your life. Don't believe me blindly. There is a link in the description right now. Click on it, register right now, and go through this first lesson completely free. I might not keep that lesson free for a long period of time, so please take advantage right now. Register on it and go through that amazing experience that I call tears of joy experience using Ho'oponopono and EFT combined. Let's continue to learn EFT right now. Let me show you what are the tapping points of EFT first and what specifically do you say and how do you use it in 4 areas of life: health, relationships, career, and money, and even emotions in all 4 areas of life. Let's begin. So EFT starts with tapping on this point. In EFT, this is called as KC or karate chop point. So you tap here with your 4 fingers. Now I'm a righty, so I use my right hand to tap. If you're a lefty, maybe you will use your left hand to tap here. Both hands work. You don't have to tap on both hands. One hand tapping is enough. So you will start like this and you will tap here and you will say this particular affirmation. By the way, get a notepad and a pen, write down these points also and write down the affirmation that I'm telling you. Okay, let's continue. So while you're tapping here, you're going to say, even though I have this emotional problem, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Now, this is a blanket affirmation that I've given you when I said, even though I have this emotional problem. Here, you specifically say that negative emotion that you want to release. Let us say in the area of your health, you're going through some pain in your back. Then you're going to say, even though I have this pain in my back and I'm stressed about it, in spite of that, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Understand the science here. Why are we saying this affirmation? Because whenever we are going through any pain, whenever we are going through any negative emotion, who is the first person that we are frustrated towards? Who's the first person we are angry towards? Ourselves, right? So that is why the first affirmation you have to say 3 times, which is, even though I'm going through this back pain, or even though I'm going through this panic, or it can be frustration, even though I'm going through this frustration, or in relationship, it can be heartache or broken up in a relationship, so feeling hurt. If it is hurt, then you're going to say, even though I'm feeling hurt right now in this relationship, in spite of that, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Now, at one time, you take one emotion. That is the important part, okay? Before you start using EFT, you will always write down on a notepad that physical pain or emotional pain, by the way, it works on both. Write down on a notepad that this emotion that I'm feeling right now, on a level of 1 to 10, what is the rating or what is the intensity of this emotion right now? Example, if you've got a backache, maybe the backache right now, the intensity is very strong. It's a 7. So then you'll write down 7. Now start doing EFT and check after 1 round of EFT, what is the intensity again? I promise you, you will experience the intensity goes down. Let's try it again and let me show you all the points this time. You will first start here and you will say, even though I am having this emotion or this problem or this physical pain, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. 3 times. After that, you'll take 2 fingers like this and you will tap on these points, which I'm showing you right now. First, I'll show you all the points and then I'll show you how to use it. So you will tap here at the beginning of your eyebrows like this. Be careful when you're tapping, don't hurt yourself. You're tapping with your tip of your fingers. Then tap here. Observe, these are the temple points of your head. Sometimes when you have a headache, you give yourself a massage here. This is called the temple point. That's where you're going to tap here. Then you're going to tap here, below your eyes. This part has bones. When you're tapping, be careful, don't hurt yourself. Keep tapping here. Then on the top of the head, in the center of the head. Now when you're tapping here, you can use 4 fingers of both your fingers, because both your hands, because you can cover maximum part of tapping. Then you're going to be tapping here. Then here. Now, over here on the 2 points of your neck called as the collarbone points. You'll feel the bone here. Tap here. Again, you can use 4 fingers here because it's a larger area. Using the same 4 fingers, underarms 1, underarms 2. And now, use the fingers, which means if you observe, I'll come a little close to the video. Where my nail and skin meets, this is where you're going to tap, like this. See, like this or like this. So example, I will hold my hands like this and I will tap here. Then I will tap my second finger, same place where my nail and the skin meets. Third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. And then we come back here and we say, even though I am feeling this pain or even though I am feeling this emotion, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Understood the steps, understood the points. Now I'll show you how to actually use it. Here we go. Take an example with me and work with me. I'm going to take a very common example of saying a simple word, negative emotion. Okay. So here we go. We're going to say, even though I have this negative emotion, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Come on, do it with me. Second time. Even though I have this negative emotion, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Even though I have this negative emotion, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Okay. I hope you've written down the intensity of the emotion before you started. If not, pause the video, write the intensity now. Take two fingers, and now here is the important part. While you're tapping, you're going to say, this negative emotion, release. If you're feeling frustrated, you're going to say, frustration, release. If you're feeling sad, you're going to say, sadness, release. If you've got backache, you're going to say, backache, release. If you're feeling hurt, you're going to say, hurt, release. If you're feeling sad, you're going to say, sadness, release. If you're depressed, you're going to say, all my depression, release. So any emotion that you're feeling, you're going to use that emotion and say the word release. Any pain in your body you have, you're going to say that pain and you're going to say the word release while you're tapping on all these points. Let's continue on the finger. My negative emotion, release. Next finger, my negative emotion, release. Next finger, my negative emotion, release. Next finger, my negative emotion, release. My little finger, negative emotion, release. And finally, same statement. Even though I'm going through this negative emotion, in spite of that, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Now, after this, you take both your hands like this and take a deep breath with me. Come on. And now check what is the intensity of the pain. I guarantee you, either it would have gone drastically down or a little bit down by 1 or 2 points. What you do is you keep doing EFT until that score of that pain or that negative emotion goes all the way down to 0. If you do 3 to 4 rounds, generally it works and goes down all the way to 0. Some cases when people tell me they've got extreme physical pain or extreme depression, it takes about 7 to 8 rounds. I've never seen anybody doing 10 rounds. 7 to 8 rounds maximum, whether it is physical pain or emotional pain, a lot of times we have seen it goes completely down. I'll give you an example. One of our students had got divorced and was going through a lot of crying, going through a lot of sadness, feeling hurt, feeling lonely, lots of mixed emotions were going on. So I told her during our course of Hope Nope Nope, I said, write down the emotions that you're feeling. It's always good to do this. Let's say relationship, you're feeling something negative. Write down right now all the negative emotions that you're feeling in relationships. In her case, she was feeling sad. She was feeling betrayed. She was also feeling a lot of loneliness because right now she had broken up in that relationship. So I told her to write down each feeling. And now I did with her EFT during the workshop for each of these emotions separately. Before starting the round, I asked her, what is the intensity of sadness? What is the intensity of being betrayed? What is the intensity of feeling lonely? We wrote down the intensity, and then for each emotion, we continued doing EFT as a full round until it went down to 0. Believe it or not, every workshop that I do of Hope Nope Nope and EFT, on the first day, we all focus on releasing all our HRC and negative emotions. With this lady, we did a live experience. Believe it or not, her entire emotion went down to 0. In fact, there are many such people we do live experience with during the workshop, and then their pain goes away, their emotional problems goes away on the day 1 itself. Like I said, if you'd love to be part of that lesson, I'm giving you that lesson number 1 completely free. Watch that video by clicking on the description below and registering right now. Let's do one more practice with me for, let's say, health. If you're saying you've got some backache, then you're going to say, even though I have this backache, now it doesn't have to be backache, it can be headache, it can be shoulder pain, it can be knee pain, it can be anything. Try doing it this way. You're going to say, even though I have this backache, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Come on, do it with me. Even though I have this backache, I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Even though I have this backache, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Hope you've written down the intensity before starting, right? Now, start tapping with me. This backache, release. Of course, in your case, you may not say backache. You may say any other pain that you have. You're going to say this backache, release. All this backache, release. All my backache, release. All my backache, release. This backache that I'm feeling, release. All my backache, release. All my backache, release. All the pain in my back, 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 release. Any backache which is still left, release. All my backache, release. Even though I have this backache, I still love and accept myself exactly the way I am. Now take your hands like this and take a deep breath. Now check the intensity of your pain. It should have gone down. We did this once with one of our students in the EFT certification course, where he had backache for the last 15 days, wasn't hardly able to move also properly. He said even sitting in the workshop was difficult for him. We did EFT with him until it went down all the way to 0. In his case, we did EFT plus a little bit of Ho'oponopono also, because it was a combination workshop of EFT and Ho'oponopono certification course. But once we did this with him for about 10 to 15 minutes, believe it, his entire backache during the workshop just disappeared. He was able to attend the whole 2 days of workshop without any pain. In fact, day 2 when he came the next morning, I asked him, how's your pain? He said all night he slept very peacefully without pain after 15 days for the first time. Would you practice this EFT technique now? Is that giving you a lot of confidence? Please practice, try it for yourself, and then tell me in the comment section below later when you come back to this video, what did you try EFT on, and tell me how did you feel. Would you like me to make more such amazing videos on EFT and on different topics? Tell me what topics. I would love to make those videos next time. But for that, tell me in the comment section right now. And hey, if you loved today's video, give it a quick thumbs up, because when you like it, many people like it because you like it, because like attracts like. And yes, subscribe to the channel. And when you do that, you'll see a bell icon. Immediately click on that bell icon. So next time I create such amazing videos of using techniques like EFT or Ho'oponopono, you'll definitely get a notification. Okay. See you soon in the next video. Please practice EFT and let me know which emotion did you release. Okay. See you soon in the next video.